Scottie Pippen stands as one of basketball's most influential, yet often understated figures, a player whose impact shaped an entire era of the NBA. Known for his versatility, defensive brilliance, and unselfish style of play, he became a cornerstone of the Chicago Bulls dynasty of the 1990s. Alongside the brilliance of Michael Jordan, Pippen formed the structure that allowed greatness to flourish, redefining what it meant to be a complete forward. His career includes multiple championships, all-star appearances, and elite defensive honors. Yet beyond the statistics lies a deeper story of struggle, sacrifice, and resilience that began long before fame ever found him. Early life in poverty-stricken Arkansas. Scottie Pippen was born in Hamburg, Arkansas, in a large family struggling to survive in extreme poverty. Life in their small wooden home was marked by hardship, where basic comfort was a luxury and daily survival was the main focus. With many siblings and limited resources, food and stability were never guaranteed. Winters were harsh, and the fragile house often failed to protect them from the cold. Despite these conditions, Pippen learned early how to endure discomfort and adapt to scarcity. These formative years shaped his mentality, building a foundation of resilience that would later define his journey toward professional basketball greatness. Family struggles and personal tragedy. Pippen's childhood was further shaped by serious family challenges that left lasting emotional marks. His father suffered a severe stroke, leaving him partially paralyzed and unable to provide for the household as before. At the same time, one of his brothers became disabled, adding more pressure to an already strained family situation. These circumstances created a home environment filled with responsibility, uncertainty, and emotional weight. Pippen witnessed his family struggle daily with illness and limitation, teaching him early that life can change suddenly and unfairly. These experiences strengthened his empathy, discipline, and determination to eventually rise above his circumstances. A mother's sacrifice and silent strength. While hardship surrounded the household, Pippen's mother became the emotional and physical backbone of the family. She worked multiple jobs, often returning home exhausted after long hours of labor, yet still continuing to care for her children and husband. Her sacrifices rarely came with recognition, but they were essential to keeping the family together. Young Scottie observed her relentless effort and quiet endurance, which deeply influenced his understanding of responsibility and perseverance. Seeing her exhaustion and determination taught him that strength is often silent. This lesson stayed with him, shaping the humility and work ethic he carried throughout his basketball career. Childhood isolation and lost innocence. As a child, Pippen experienced not only poverty but also a deep sense of invisibility. While other children played freely and dreamed openly, he often stood aside, unable to fully participate due to lack of resources and confidence. Hunger and self-doubt became familiar feelings, shaping his quiet and reserved personality. He rarely expressed his struggles, choosing instead to observe life from a distance. This emotional isolation made him mature quickly, but it also built an internal barrier between him and childhood joy. In many ways, his early years were defined by survival rather than celebration, shaping a mindset focused on endurance. Rejection and overlooked potential. During his teenage years, Pippen faced widespread rejection from basketball programs and scouts. Despite his interest in the sport, he was considered too small, too unpolished, and too insignificant to be recruited seriously. Opportunities that others received easily were repeatedly denied to him, reinforcing feelings of invisibility. While his peers moved forward with scholarships and recognition, he remained unnoticed. These rejections were not loud or dramatic, but they were deeply discouraging. Yet instead of giving up, he absorbed the disappointment and stored it as motivation. This phase of rejection became a critical turning point in developing his competitive mindset. University of Central Arkansas. A humble beginning. Pippen eventually enrolled at the University of Central Arkansas, but his entry into basketball was far from immediate. He initially joined the program not as a player, but as a team manager, handling equipment, cleaning facilities, and assisting players behind the scenes. While others trained and competed, he worked quietly in the background, often unnoticed. This position placed him on the outside of the game he loved, reinforcing feelings of limitation. However, being close to the sport allowed him to observe, learn, and stay connected. Even in this overlooked role, his ambition quietly continued to grow stronger. Sudden physical growth and opportunity. During his time at university, Pippen experienced a dramatic physical transformation, growing rapidly in height and athletic potential. This change altered how others perceived him and opened a small window of opportunity to join practice sessions. For the first time, coaches began to notice his natural coordination, wingspan, and developing skill set. Though still inexperienced, he showed flashes of ability that suggested untapped potential. This growth did not instantly make him a star, but it allowed him to step onto the court as a player rather than an observer. It marked the beginning of his transition from background figure to athlete. Intense training and relentless determination. Once given a chance, Pippen trained with extraordinary intensity. He pushed his body far beyond comfort, often leaving practice physically exhausted and covered in bruises. Every session was treated as a test of survival, as he understood that failure would return him to obscurity. Teammates and observers sometimes doubted him, but that skepticism only fueled his drive further. He trained not for recognition, but for security, determined never to return to a life of invisibility. His persistence turned weakness into strength, gradually transforming him into a player capable of competing at the highest level. Chicago Bulls era and rise to greatness. Pippen's entry into the NBA with the Chicago Bulls marked the beginning of a historic era in basketball. As part of the legendary team led by Michael Jordan, he became a crucial defensive and offensive contributor. His ability to guard multiple positions, facilitate plays, and support team strategy made him indispensable. Together, they formed one of the most dominant dynasties in sports history, winning 6 championships. While Jordan often received global attention, Pippen's role was foundational, providing balance and structure. His presence helped redefine the value of versatile, two-way players in modern basketball. Conclusion. Legacy beyond recognition. Scottie Pippen's story is not only about championships and accolades, but also about transformation through hardship. From poverty in rural Arkansas to global basketball success, his journey reflects resilience shaped by struggle, rejection, and perseverance. He represents the type of greatness built quietly, without constant recognition, but with lasting impact. His influence on the game continues through the modern understanding of versatile forwards who defend, create, and lead without needing the spotlight. Pippen's legacy stands as proof that greatness can emerge from obscurity, shaped not only by talent, but by endurance through life's most difficult circumstances.